G'day guys, as you can see behind me the boot is absolutely loaded with all the 90s classics, and just kind of like loading up the boot for the old shuttle run days back up Lofty in the 90s. Thank God for quick release, you could pack 4 or 5 bikes in the back of the car. Also got some bikes on the back as well. Heading out today to the Maiponga Reservoir where the Smiling Samoyed craft beer brewery is for the retro show and shine swap meet and craft beer day. So it should be some awesome bikes out there, some really good old retro goodness, and pretty keen to check it out. I'll have a bit of a stall there, and I guess I'll show you guys around. Wicked dirt jumper. Single speed. Love it. Some mint early 90s Kakaram.
Excellent.
Oh, Alex, and it's got U-pull brakes as well.
Can't beat that helmet.
Cool.
No. How you doing?
Love these early 90s GTs. They had the best paint jobs. Absolutely love them. If you started mountain biking in the 90s, chances are you or someone that you knew had a Shogun, whether it be a trail breaker or a prairie breaker. These things were so popular in the 90s, and this is an awesome bike packer. This bike is awesome.
Yeah, I've got one brand new Cujo really tight for that.
In my eyes, being a GT fan, these RTSs are the holy grail, right alongside the LTS and the STS, of course. And this is an absolutely mint example.
Yeah. Just a generic brand. Yeah. Few different. Like my Barney, that's just a Kinesis factory frame.
Yep.
Craftworks, all those brands, they were all generic Taiwanese.
Where'd you get your red outer coat?
Wow.
They were on there.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, I had no idea.
Seems like a lot of that. So similar, all the...
Oh, they're all similar.
Yeah, and this balanced hardtail is such an awesome build. Manitou 2s were the first forks I had, so I actually fell in love with this bike. All the little details on this bike, if you look closely, are just absolutely spot on.
He had a Avanti, isn't it? Yeah. He had one of them with 2 or 4s. Oh, yeah, I remember that one. Whose is it now? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. This thing's awesome. Yeah, I was going to just use the phone, but then, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I absolutely love this Uzi as well. Having that, I used to have an Intense back in the 90s, but the absolute detail and the part spec and the work that's gone into the restoration of this bike is next level, really. This is also one of Rex Williamson's bike, and it's a replica of his race bike from back in the days when he was sponsored by Avanti. And you gotta love the nostalgic builds.
It'd be greatly appreciated. Smiling's quite interested in that. That'd be greatly appreciated.
This tuner is an absolute beast. I would love to send this thing down Fox Long today. These tires are brand new. Check out the linkage on that V10, that is absolute beast. This giant's mint, but I'd like to point out that those Zyzacs, I had a set of those back in the 90s on my Intense, and the Zyzac forks were not the best, let's just say that. This is also another showstopper bike, a very, very rare Tomac that was actually a team bike that was raced on the World Cup by a local SA racer in the early 2000s. This is an absolute mint bike as well.
It's only mildly broken right now. 800mm wide.
Yeah, this bike looks fast just sitting there, so I could only imagine how plush and fast this bike would be. It'd be on rails.
You're overdoing it. You got like 6 bolts on the road. You only need 3.
I know.
Maximum 4. Yeah, 4's a good number.
Oh yeah.
This is another hardtail I fell in love with. Just the detail and all the little parts when you look closely at it. All the little ring lay and all the little anodized accents. I absolutely fell in love with this. This is a quintessential 90s hardtail.
Yeah.
Oh, they make our like squealing.
Yeah, the squealing.
Yeah.
It's like bump home.
And then it's like every 300 k's you got to pull it apart and you lubricate it. It's howling. Yeah, they howl.
Stop and get in there.
But just put some Shimano.
Maybe two.
Mag 21s too.
Because you can get the spray stuff and just get in there.
Oh, yeah, get right in there.
Magura's? What? Because he couldn't find any. Oh, it's all right. No.
Don't know if it works like that, but I mean, 1.2 kilos for the pair.
Wow.
800 grams for a rear wheel is pretty light.
That's ridiculously light, yeah.
It needs a bigger chainring on the front though.
Yeah.
The 32 the 32 is way too small for it.
Yeah.
I spin it out too quickly.
Yeah.
You know what?
Rebuild my
You do,
pedals.
don't you?
They've got so much play in them. That one completely moves.
You need to get the tool for it.
Yeah.
Probably got square tubing.
I had an old pair and I used vice grips on it. It works, but
Yep.
This is another hardtail that when you look really closely you realise how specced out and blinged out this one is. This is what you would call an aggressive hardtail from back in the day as well. Sort of an all-mountain hardtail warrior machine. Just have a look how good the spec is on this bike.
So like at a glance you're like, oh yeah, but then when you look closer you're like, wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
Thompson seat post.
yeah.
Right.
And how often do you see Marzocchi Z2 BAMs like they are the OG all-mountain fork for a hardtail?
Who's this one?
And these two matching Treks from the museum are absolutely the dream machine from back in the 90s, almost like the unattainable dream. This one with a coil and then its little brother next to it with the lockout air shock as well. And the spec on these two bikes are also just next level. They were worth a fortune back then and they're probably worth the same now.
No, by the time I fill up the grips and add those to the pole.
And XTR rapid rise build on this thing has got the spec of all specs. And yeah, see these bikes around in these conditions is just it's just almost impossible. I love the lockout shock on it as well. That's awesome. But the thumb shifter right there, mint. This Mariner was also another bike that was definitely a crowd favourite. It's basically Manitou forks front and rear, and all answer bits on it as well, all the hyper stuff. This is a really super rare unicorn of a bike, and yeah, congratulations to the owner, Prashant. This is a really, really awesome bike.
Has been once, and then I re-cracked it.
Over here.
Tempted on the aggressor, are you, Teddy?
Hey, you need one?
Yeah, I don't have to pay ID. Oh, no, I think I can, but I don't. So, yeah, next 7, 3, 4.
Currently, my
These Canadars were also pretty popular back in the early 90s, and the first time I seen one of these I was absolutely blown away. Coil shock in the rear, head shock at the front, and a bit of a bottom brake looking pivot there, but that's a really super high pivot, a pretty progressive bike for back then.
10 years ago, we'd have all had bloody boxes full of cash just in case
This downhill beast is actually owned by a good friend of mine, so thanks for him for lending me this bike to bring along. And the build and this bike is OG original from the 90s. Hasn't been restored. This is still in the original condition, so all the parts on this and the condition that it's in is super rare these days. And yeah, this was a pretty dialed beast. Those forks are just unbelievable.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
And this bike is also for sale, so hit me up in the comments if you're keen. And this is my Green Tempest, and this is also original 93, 94, and it's all original parts except for the tyres and the bar ends. And this is my Backwards, it's a 98, and it's also all original except for the grips and the head stem. Still got the original tyres on it too. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of those two bikes.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got 39 bikes.
And this is also my personal LTS 2000. This is actually my pride and joy, my flagship of my little collection. And I've lovingly restored this bike, and yeah, it's definitely my baby. Yeah, I'm definitely a GT man, and these DS 2000s were my dream bike back in the 90s, and yeah, I'm absolutely chuffed to be able to own one today. Probably now's the only time I could actually afford one too. And this giant also belongs to a really close family member of mine, and this is completely unrestored, straight out of the 90s. It's hung in the shed for the last 20 years. Last time it was ridden, it was probably a Wollonga downhill in the 98, and it's an absolute weapon. Thanks, mate.
A mate of mine was going to come down with his bike rack.
Oh yeah.
But he's gone motorbiking instead.
Well, that's a modern looking drivetrain on that.
That's one of the things I'm clearing it all. Well, one of the...
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah.
Discount, I guess. He said, we're not buying your bike, so don't expect to shut down now, have they?
They've shut down, but yeah, that's what I've got.
Yeah. But I mean, like, your rotational weight.
It's all just bypass. So yeah, work
My guy in Queensland, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you build it up yourself, or is it?
Oh, when I got it, he had like riser bars on it and all this other crap that I didn't like.
Yeah.
I did change a fair bit, like wheels, tyres, pedals, bar stem, lever shifters.
Chain saver thing there. That's so many awesome details on it.
Oh, even this little jigger I got on a bike the other day, it's like to stop shit getting down in there.
Yeah.
So
It's mint.
brand new bottle from the era.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, managed to score a few good parts for it.
Yeah.
So
award. Again, thank you for to Smiling for their for the beers. Beautiful beer. Thank you very much, SA Water, for letting us use the land. For the museum, yeah, part of organising, scoring, and that. Our celebrity judge Gary from Trailscapes, the man of many projects like Bike Boy and Boy Bike, CRT, CTR. I'll get it. There we go. Not even half I'm not even a fun size cavalry. Second, there was a draw for second. We got no particular order in the second place. We have Mark's Sarasan Havoc. Yep. Then we had number 29. We had Jason's GT RTS 3.
Yep.
And we had Krishan's number 7 was the Marin.
Yeah.
Now trailed.
The STX hub, mate, that let you down so bad.
Now was Gary's Mongoose. People's choice.
Thanks, guys.
You.
Do you want to put the museum sign behind it?
It's even got a stand. That is epic.
Okay. Yeah, rigid category. So third place is Gary's Mongoose. It's third place. Second place we have Donald's ATB. No, sorry, Donald's ATB mountain bike. So Donald, he's already gone. So that was out the back, the thing that just said mountain bike on it. He didn't even want to put it in. He thought it was too old and dodgy. I said, let's do it. He got second place. So
That's cool.
runner up, we'll have to get that to him. So well done, Donald. And then winner, we've got the one and only Mr. Shogun, Andrew. He's expert. Downhill. We had a huge turnout for the downhills at the end of the day. So third place goes to Rex and his Avanti Hardcore.
Okay.
Well done, mate. So well done. So if you didn't know, that was actually what do you want? Were you going to do a quick?
It was my passion build. It was a replica basically of what I raced in 97 and 98 in Southeast Queensland. So about 18 months worth of searching for parts, and yeah, randomly found the bike here in Adelaide on Marketplace. So yeah, so it cost way more money than it's probably worth, but it's pretty correct for what I was racing. So yeah, pretty happy with it. It's a cool little bike.
Okay, second place we have Nigel's DBR V10.
Yes.
Yeah. So we need someone to grab the camera.
Rolling out.
Thank you. He's,
No.
grab the bike. So well done.
Thank you.
Your runner up. Downhill. As he grabs his Avanti, is Rex's Intense.
Yes.
Thank you. Well done, man. I don't know how much you paid them, because you came in only for the win today, and you're going to be very disappointed if you didn't get it. So yeah, that was. I don't know how much you paid the judges. Good place. Nigel.
Yes.
Backwards.
Oh yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
So third place, well done.
Thank you.
Nigel.
Really?
With his Tempest. GT Tempest. Good work, mate.
Awesome.
Okay.
Another one. Brilliant. A little like a rapper.
And then first place for Hardtail
Has to be that one.
is Jason. Jason with his Balance AL150.
Oh yeah.
I think he's already gone. See? Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice work, man.
Well done, guys.
All right. Well done.
Five.
So three runner-ups out of 5, not bad, mate.
Oh, sorry, the Diamondback, the two hard tasks, and then this one. Oh, I suppose one's a third place.
Third place and 3 seconds. Well done. And then first place for the best restored goes to Jason and his GT-RTS.
Yeah.
Nice work.
Yeah, that's me. Nice work.
Well done, boys.
Brad for organising all
Yeah,
this
thanks,
and
Brad.
everything.
No problems, guys.
Legend. Thank you. Thanks.
Again, thanks to you guys for bringing your bikes out. Thanks to supporters, Smiling, and for beers as well from Smiling, as well as SA Water for letting us use the land again, and Australian Mountain Biking. They were big supporters, just unable to come out today. They had to shoot back home, but they were doing a whole lot of filming out of Fox this week with Joe.
Yeah, so what a great day out. What an awesome little retro scene that we've got going on here in Adelaide with a great bunch of guys, really enthusiastic collectors. The guys from the museum really know their stuff. Get on out to Wollonga and check out the Australian Museum of Mountain Bike. Thanks to the sponsors of the event. And yeah, if you've got a retro sitting around in the shed, give it a little bit of a spit and polish and get out to the next one because it's an absolutely fantastic day. Cheers, guys.